Okay, in this tutorial we are going to add a background. We're going to add some ground and then a background sky, and then we'll just take a look at how that works. Okay, so first of all, you can move the screen around with this hand. You could kind of see where things are. You could hit 2D or 3D viewpoint to see where your things are. I'm holding the Option key on my keyboard with the Mac, and I am holding the mouse down and dragging around. You can kind of see your environment. Okay, now we're going to go into Photoshop and create a sky background real quick. So I'm just going to go ahead and go File, New, and then create a document at this size. You can obviously play around with that however you'd like. I'm just going to make a simple gradient. So let me see, for me, if I hold the mouse down on the paint bucket, I can find this gradient tool. And if I click, how about if I go into the blues, because I'm going to make a blue sky. Something like any one of these will look good. How about this? And if I just drag down, you'll see what I'm getting. And if I hold Shift, it will go perfectly straight down. Okay, and that's going to do it just for now. And then with multiple levels, I can make multiple skies and maybe have a sunset, maybe have a nighttime sky. But we're just going to go with this for now, and go File, Export, and then I'm going to quick export this into a folder. I created this folder. I'm going to call this Sky Blue. Okay, and I created this folder before I started the tutorial, and in my Finder, I can find it, and it's over here on my desktop. So I have my my images folder, and then I created an environment folder just to keep myself organized. And then in your assets, remember in assets in your Unity, you can go into graphics if you've set that up correctly, and you could create whatever folders you want in there. And I'm just going to go ahead and drag Sky Blue into there. So now I have a new graphic ready to use, almost ready to use. You have to select it now, and up here in texture type, you're going to want to change default to Sprite and 2D and UI. Okay, let's see if I don't do that, what happens. If I try to drag this into the scene, nothing's happening. So I have to select it and get it prepared for Unity to know what to do with it. Hit Apply. You have to push Apply, and now I could drag it onto the stage. Okay, pretty cool. Now it's let's just take a look what's going on in here. I'm going to hold Option, and you can see the camera there, and let's select the camera. Let's take this selection tool here. Let's select, and you'll see that when I'm looking at through the camera, it's aiming that direction, and the sky blue is at the same level as the character. So I'm going to select that and move it away from the camera. You can see that. And now look in the over here on the Z-axis. Let me drag this a little bit better for you. So sky blue. Let's go ahead and select that. And if I move it on the Z-axis going away from the camera, it's going that direction. If I pull it, and it'll go in front of the guy, and now you can't see the guy anymore. So we can layer things in Unity. It's really fun to go ahead and put, later we're going to put trees and buildings and mountains in front of the sky. So we could put this wherever we're comfortable, and this is just how we're setting this game up. Now obviously there is kind of a sky background set up with the camera. It's called a skybox, and there's different ways of altering that skybox, but I wanted to teach you how to just get sprites into your image, and we're going to make this a kind of a 2D game. Let me see if I hit 2D, what does it look like? And with this tool, we could expand our graphic however we like. We could use scale if we want to use scale, and let's just say double the X. Let's quadruple the X. How about the Y? Let's make that double the Y. You know, and you could play around with that and get it the way you want it to look. I'm rolling out with the mouse. Maybe I want more of the grading here. We're going to put ground under his feet. So you just get this sky looking the way you want. And it gets pretty complicated as you're building for different devices. Right now we're just, this is like a 6:9 aspect ratio, which a lot of games are in. And you could see where the top edge would be right there. And then this would be 6:10, and every device has its own aspect ratio. So you can get that sky in there. And then now I've already created ground, which I'm going to change this ground eventually. I don't particularly like this, but I just did something real fast. I'll show you the size that I made it at for now. So maybe if we all start at the same size and when we make adjustments, we could all be on the same page. So at the width, I set to 4,000, the height 600. Hit OK, and then I exported that also into this environment folder, and then I can now drag it into here. Whoops, didn't seem to want to do that. Okay, and so if I put the ground on the scene, nothing's going to happen until I prepare it. So let's go ahead and hit Sprite and 2D editor, hit apply, and now I can drag it on there. And let's just, it's in front of the character, and I'm going to go ahead and drag this down. And sometimes things act a little weird. Like you'll notice that it covered him for a bit, and now it's not in front of him. So let's just take a look what's going on here in 3D mode. He's on the same level as the character. You can see my character right there. So it'd probably be smart to go ahead and pull him behind the character a little bit. You know, maybe put that at a 1. And I'll show you one other thing. Let's just say the z-axis is 0, and I put him up in front of the character. And the character in the hierarchy, the character is rendered first, and then the ground second. So there's a chance that your character would be showing behind the ground, because the ground, and you could ensure with this order and layer, if they're on the same exact z coordinate, you could change this number. And let's just say the ground, if I make the ground order higher, he'll be in front. If I make it lower, and you could actually make you could put negatives. So now it's -1, it's actually behind. Since we're on the same layer as the sky, it went behind the sky as well. So I could set this to 0, and I could set the character to 1, so the 1's ahead. Okay, so there's different ways of doing that. I'm gonna go ahead and just put the ground z coordinate a little bit behind the character, and there's just different ways of arranging things. Okay, so go ahead and let's just get that set up. Then we'll add some movement script and put some objects in there so it looks like he's walking past some things. And make your ground better looking than that, please. That does not look very good, and I'll fix mine when I'm off screen. Okay, go ahead and have fun adding a sky and a ground. Have fun.